Alright, since a lot of new people had quite some questions about plans, in a more specific way I will go more in detail, Colossus by Colossus in this video. I already made a basic guide where I explain how to acquire a plant, so this video will mostly elaborate on where exactly you get it per Colossus. So let's start right away. Dallas is one of the most easy ones to start out with plants. The only real area where it doesn't work is at the front, so as long as you grab anywhere here, roughly, you will be fine. It is very helpful for newer players to go for a plant at first, since animations can be tricky to learn. Even though that's one of the colossi where not getting the plant is really faster. That one depends on how quickly you ever get here, or if you grab at the front, usually don't get the plant. I'll just show it how it looks like when you get it. Like... Oh. So, wait it out. You see I already got a plant. Important, like I elaborated in my basics video, you get there, and you see then Wonder stabilizes, you just don't move. That worked rather easily. Contrast, I think here it can still work. Yeah, that's a plant. If you get farther at the front, it's like more of a questionable thing. This might actually still work, let's see. Yep, still works, kind of, even though that shape will always cancel it. And once it's cancelled once, it will always be cancelled. But yeah, as you see, like, if you go to the front here, it's probably not possible. So, if you want to have a safe Alice, you kind of climb up the side. Just pretend I'm coming up the side. And you just grab farther back rather than farther at the front, and it works. Okay, that's about it for Valis. Let's continue. Quad. To talk a little bit about Quad. On the back sigil here, let me actually make it so you guys can see it real quick. So, on the back sigil, even though there's plenty of plants, like, basically as long as you grab like the bottom here, this is fine, you can get a plant, but that's one of the sigils where you actually don't want a plant, because getting cycle stabs or even just ricochet stabs is easy. So that's one of the sigils where you actually want to grab up top of it. For cycle stabbing, I have the basics video, watch, where I do it. Looks basically the same from Quad. Also a little disclaimer, I won't be showing the hard mode sigils just because they don't really have play. Maybe Phaedra's side sigils, but even that's kind of a tricky thing and required. I will also link my hard mode tutorial for that. How to deal with those. Now comes probably the most difficult and specific plant you can imagine. But there's like two ways of getting it. The basic way I will explain here. For the other one I have another video up that talks about how to get it in a different kind of way, where you kind of re-grab with a timing thing, and that can also get you a plant. But that's advanced stuff. For now I will show you the regular plant. And that's the one where you kind of grab these areas. That one takes practice. Just grabbing here sometimes isn't enough, because the slope can make Wander shake anyway. So you really gotta watch out and see if Wander grabs it in a plant kind of animation. The most important part for plants is that you can see Wander's animation do that little thing where you can instantly see him stabilize instead of just hanging around. I will show you how it works in practice now, hopefully. Not the easiest to do, oops, and obviously I forget to Good. And you probably can't get it usually, but wow. Quad is shaking unless you're lucky. So this won't work, I'll just wait it out. Keep in mind I'm playing through my OBS window to make drawing. So let's see. Yeah, that looks like it. So here you can see Wonder shaking and it's fine. Sometimes if you grab here and Wonder doesn't get the stab in because you're too far away from the sigil, that can actually be like kinda weird, because while Quad is moving, the sigil hitbox moves, and sometimes even if you don't get it first try, it works second or third try. So if you don't get the stab in the first stab, sometimes just stab a second time to be really sure. Because repositioning from this plant is a pain, and like I said, I will be putting a video on there what to do if you like, let's say, get to the sigil and shake around like this, how to regain the plant. So much for Quad. So, now you're probably asking yourself, hey, you're not on Gaius yet. You want to explain the plant, so why are you not up there? That's because Gaius's plant on the head can be very, very animation based. It's rather tricky to get that plant if he's not in a certain animation on the head. It can still happen, but when it's like more trial and error, positioning is similar to what I will show, it will just work way less. So ideally, if you want to get the plant every time, you want to get the launch first. So let's do that. You might have noticed a little cut here. Shame on me, I didn't get this first try. It is consistent though when you learn it, maybe not so much for an OBS window though. And yeah, I'll put a link in the description if you want to learn it. It's kind of required to get the plan consistently. And yeah, once you grab here, if you do it perfectly, Gaius will do this anime. Let me explain what will follow here. So, if you get this shaking animation of Gaius, you just stand back and wait. If you don't get the launch or you can't get the launch, it's also just fine to force this animation after a few stabs. If you're not ready, just walk back and wait for this animation. It should be fine. And the idea here is to run up Gaius's neck and head once the shaking stops, and that will give Wander a good setup to get the plant, which is kind of behind the sigil. You don't want to be too far behind, since then you won't hit the sigil, though you can get the plant anywhere behind the sigil. If you're at the sigil, usually the plant doesn't work, so just grab just behind the sigil, and it should be fine. It's not the easiest plant. I'd even say this plant can sometimes be harder than the launch itself, but it's good to know about. And honestly, if you have trouble with that, it's just fine to do full stabs while Gaius is shaking and get there. Especially if you do like belly first, the plant here doesn't matter at all. And on the belly you can't get a plant anywhere. Though with the right animation you can cycle stab. That would be too much to talk about though. So let me just show you what I mean. Plant. Run up. Grab behind and I'm a bit diagonal here. Usually you want to be more straight, but it doesn't matter. Here you just do 3.5 stabs. On hard, this plant is important to do all 5 before the first shake. Here on normal, you have a bit more time. Now you just wait it out, wait for the animation, and let yourself jump back. The advantage here is that you can go directly here with the right animation, and even cycle stab, though it doesn't always allow for it to be easy, and that would be like a proper normal Gaius. So to repeat, you get the right animation, which you will get with the launch every time as long as you grab the right part, you wait out the shakes, and then you run up and sigil. If you don't have the right animation, stabbing without having the just fine as long as full stabs, which I explain in my basics tutorial. Let's move on to Phaedra. So let's say you're in the position where you just move. Can I get an angle? So Phaedra is a quick one, it's very easy. You basically have a plant almost anywhere. I recommend grabbing farther back. Like here, but even work. As long as you stay like in that general area here, you're more than fine. Just make sure to have the right animation. If you get shaken out, just re-grab until it works. Right, you need a feeling for it, but Phaedra is very easy to demonstrate. This is the right animation, I think. And there's making obviously amazing work from keeping everything up. But let me pretend wow, I just got the plant again when I wanted to pretend I messed it up. So let me mix it up on purpose. That's even possible here. Oh no, I messed up, so I just re-grab a couple of times and now it's fine. So people will ask me, Tic Tac, why are you showing Avion? There is nothing to talk about plant-wise here. Yes, there is, but not the way you think. Because, well, on the tail it absolutely doesn't matter. Get one or not. But on the wings it does. Here you want to avoid plants at any cost. Why? Because if you get a plant on the wing, there is a chance that you just fall after the stab, because Wander just finishes the animation, and then he's like facing upside down and isn't able to grab anymore. So here it is important to avoid the plant at any cost, and how you do that I'll show here. It's quick and simple and works most of the time, and is something that would have helped me as a beginner. So as you run up here to the sigil, you grab and then you move. Because remember moving out of plants? Yeah, exactly. If you move while you grabbed, you avoid the stupid. Let me see if I can actually force a plant here just to show what can happen. Nah, this will be tough. Never mind. My transition was the best thing. But just trust me, if you get a plant, if you see the animation is happening, move out of it, otherwise you will regret it. I'll leave it simple. It's that. So for Barba, by the way, for Barba, if you wanna improve your time in the long run, there's actually very, very nice setups for cycle stabs you can do if you watch any IL. For example, from Odavara, those are sick and they work consistently to get here quickly. But most of the time for beginners it's easier to go for a plant, and here the trend continues kind of farther back around here. Even like stabbing outside of the sigil here can be worth it. Let me demonstrate. After removing the markings, I always forget. Okay, that's not a plant because one removed. That's a plant though. Well, it was a plant until he still did the animation. Here the idea, by the way, this was totally a plant, trust me, but some animations always get you out of the plant. And the idea usually is that on Barba specifically, if you do the stab early enough, it cancels that animation. Here it didn't for some reason, so let me... Wow, that's also a plant. So, as you see, I would have been shaken out of the out of the plant with the animation. So I just stabbed to cancel it, and here you see, kind of behind the sigil works perfectly fine. I'll leave it at that. I want to keep the video short, even though it probably will be way too long, but you will have times. On Hydras, if you do the speedrun strat, it's literally pointless to talk about plants. If you want to do a more casual strat, plants also don't matter, because you don't really need one here. Pointless to talk about next one. Bro, you don't really want plants anyway. watch my basics guide, and you will see how to cycle stab. Next one. Oh boy, is Basaran a tricky one. So, once you get to Basaran, for the first half health, so 3 stabs on NTA, not sure how many on HTA, but as long as you're above health, Basaran will do back swings, which will never get you the plant, since you will always get shaken out. After half health, you can get a plant, but that one is tricky. So I will show you the fastest way, the safest way, and a gimmick on how to get these. First of all, let's do the fastest way, though that's the least consistent. So basically you want to do 3 stabs. I'll take my time here, you can do those in one cycle, but I paused it, so it doesn't matter. So, third stab. You let go, cancel the animation that way, and now, oh god, that's a bad angle, kinda works. So what kind of works if you cancel the animation? First of all, why is it good to cancel the animation? Let's start that way. Since the shaking stops, you have more time to gain a plant, and you can even do cycle stabs until then, or even kill the Colossus entirely without a plant on normal. So, and on hard it's a big advantage, since usually you would get a lot more shakes. Here usually grabbing at the back-ish works. If you get shaken out of it, re-grabbing works. If you do it that way. So let me try and get that. It's honestly kind of hard. You might have to re-grab a couple of times. Okay, did I get it here? Let's hope. No. Sometimes you also get plants on Basaran where you think it's a plant, but it's not a plant, and those are the worst. Let me try again. So during these shakes you can get a plant. Let's try once again. I think that's right. Yep. Kind of behind the sigil, and it kind of works, but it's hard. So, oh god, I just realized I can't show you the easier way. So let me retry this and get to the same point to show you the easier way real quick. So you get on Basaran, you do 3 stabs, it doesn't matter how, I'll try to do one cycle here, but even if you don't. As long as you do 3 stabs, it's fine. And now you don't let go, but wait it out. And once everything is stable, you re-grab once, and usually that gives you a plant, as you see. It's easy as that, but if it doesn't work, it's kind of trash. So that's the easiest way to get a plant, in my opinion, Basaran, but it's kind of slower compared to the other way. This one, as you see, opposed to the other, is kind of at the front of the sigil, due to the fact that you're grabbing on and turning this way, but it just works. And now the gimmick way. Let's say, oh no, everything is shaking, I can't get a plant for the life of me. Well, let's let him shake a little more. If you're just annoyed. So, one thing that hammer found, really, but you can slash and grab. Okay, not like this. Let's try it again. Slash and grab, and that's a plant. Because of the way the animation works. It's silly. Very silly. But as you see, you have a plant. Yep. I'm gonna show it fully. It is a plant. So, to summarize, either the fast way by letting go and drop and kind of grabbing at the back, or hanging on, re-grabbing safely at the front, or you slash him and grab because you're annoyed, and it works, kind of, weirdly. So, that's about it for Basaran, probably with quad one of the trickiest. Let's see about the next ones. So, on Durge, nothing much really matters. The first sigil doesn't Well, it always says a plan, that's pointless to talk about. Now, the second sigil is sometimes a tricky one, which... this, please. Here already I got one. Though this plant is almost more based on like animation rather than positioning, the one I got here usually works. So it's kind of around the edges here, probably the most consistent you'll get, maybe kind of overall in this middle section. You can get it all around, but here along the spine, and while it's shaking in the middle it's kind of difficult, though you can cycle stabs very nicely here. So you can just experiment with it. Let's say, oh no, I didn't get the plant. You can literally re-grab and get it again, just like that. Re-grabbing and cycle stabbing out of things is very helpful with this one. So, I actually triggered him from the bottom just now. Why, you will see. So basically, if you do the usual speedrun strat, you don't even need the plant on this guy. But, yeah, we all know the situation where you kind of land and either miss the jump step, or you land at the bottom like that, have to run away, and now you're in this situation. For the small guys, Zenobia as well as Celosia, the back side works the best. I'll get on him and purposely won't get the plant, just so I can show you how to get like a backup. Unless I got the plant just now. Okay, that actually looks like a plant. So you see how it's supposed to look like. This is the plant. But let me just mess it up on purpose, if it lets me. If it lets me? Okay, there we go. Oh no, I'm shaking around. Usually wait for Celosia to stop, re-grab, and usually you're fine. So yeah, you can even stab way behind the sigil, and just re-grab if you don't get it. This is good. Next one. Pelagia doesn't have one. Phalanx literally doesn't matter. It's as easy as you imagine it to be, and you don't even need one. So here you are, getting Zenobia to trigger. You jump over here, and now. I've seen many players who jump stabs as the first stab. I don't recommend it for full game runs. In IELTS it's kind of worth it if you do it perfectly, but even there the difference is minimal, and especially for newer players, usually the jump stab isn't really worth it. You just jump here, and that's actually a good position to show. Basically, the best way to get it is, again, at the back section. You can get it farther to front, but there the stabs are worse, so just imagine a cross at the bottom. The back. So, I think that should already be a plant. Yep. Let's do the same thing I did with Celosia. It's actually the exact same thing. Let's say Zenobia is running around, trouble. Just re-grab and you're fine. The problem is that Zenobia stops less for the shades, but we just, oh no, I messed it up on purpose, and I can re-grab again. And this is just fine. So, same way as Celosia, don't jump step as a first step unless you're doing IELTS and want to optimize half a second. Not even that, because if you do a perfect plant and grab and instant charge, there's barely any difference, but yeah. Just my recommendation how to do this. So with Argus you will see quite the theme here. It's always the same, kind of far in the back for those like kind of colossi. Let me just do the launch to flex on Stocky that I can do first try while recording or an OBS window. There you go, Stocky, what's the problem? What's the issue? Anyway, so again, front won't work. That's bad. Don't go there, no. even though you can stab there if you already grabbed on once and then reposition, but the area where you want to grab is here. Farther behind where you would think here works the best. So you want to be behind Sigil. Let's show it in practice. Let's say, oh no, faking. You wait it out, then it didn't want to let me walk. Doesn't matter, you wait it out again. And let me see. If it will let me. I think that should be it. Yep. This one is farther in the front than you would think. It's not even a plant, excuse me. Sorry for spreading misinformation. This should be one though. Again, here you have to cancel those, but this is most likely a plant. Yeah, here you go. That's how it looks like. Farther in the back than you would think. But with Argus, usually the thing is anyway that you will do any step you can get, and in between the shakes you will just try to reposition for the plant. It's not that big of an issue. And yeah, obviously the other two sigils potentially. Both of them don't have plants. There, just watch the HD tutorial. And let's go to the last one. So yeah, imagine you're in this situation. You're here, doing the skip, like a pro. Now you get here. You think to yourself, oh no. Hey, you should do the bow. So, the plant here, ideally you would get it as you go up and grab, but again, kind of behind the sigil. It's usually the same theme. This one is fairly easy to do once you get the idea, so I'll just wait out the shakes here. Well, I don't know. So here. And a little recommendation, this shake can be hard, so wait. Yeah, you see, this can happen. So they're like stabbing directly can cause it, so you wait a little and then stab. And then you get it this way where you can just keep on stabbing and it's fine. Might have been a little confusing, but basically, once you get the plant, do a first stab immediately, and the second stab you wait a tiny bit before doing. Then you can stab uninterruptedly. Also, fairly easy plant to gain as long as you wait out the shakes. And yeah, this shall be the guide. Hopefully it was helpful. I assume most people will need help with Quad and Basaran, and for everything else I linked some other guides and the Discord. Thank you so much for watching.